Welcome back to another downtown Las Vegas podcast. Holy shit, gentlemen, can you believe it's already midway through the year? Holy titties, doesn't it seem like just the other day we were down on... Wait, I was on Fremont. Well, anyways, doesn't it seem like just the other day I was rushing down Fremont, counting down the seconds to midnight. We were making all of these ambition plans.
I remember that. Mayor Goodwin was there.
For New Year's resolutions, that's right. But let's be real. How many of us have stuck with these resolutions? Have you hit these gym goals? Have you been going 5 times a week, once a month, 5 times the whole years? Have you stopped smoking? Have you stopped drinking? How's your sugar intake been? Ooh, I got an answer for a lot of those. Did you fall by the wayside, Vladimir? Or along the way, did you find all that empty champagne bottles and confetti and just keep on drinking and partying? Well, fear not, everybody. It's not too late to get back on track with all the positive changes in your life. Whether you want to lose weight, learn a new language, start that business. Well, shout out to you. Maybe learn Rubik's Cubes. Or, hey, it's the halfway point. We can just reconnect to the real reality of what we can and can't do. Were those goals too ambitious? What can we do? So let's take a cue from our inner side, from our inner child. Let's embrace it, resolve it. Whether you're a guest on our show or just tuning in, thank you so much. This is our journey towards personal growth and self-improvement. This is the Downtown Las Vegas Good Buddies. And with me today is, well, holy shit, let's introduce him. It's the one, the only, holy, that took a bit. We got the Scott Warner.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
With the one, the only, Vladdy Daddy. Give a round of applause. Give him a big round.
It's a golf cart.
Golf cart. Okay, that looks like my guy died. We'll just
I think he's
start
hiding
out
behind the couch.
Just
But AWOL.
Jesus Christ.
Where'd you go?
Ready? Hey! I'm sorry. Mistakes were made. Well, let's start out with the one who's most least not ready for this. Vladimir, do you remember your resolution?
Well, actually, yes. My resolution was to make $50 billion and made only $50.
Wait. You made 50. Wait, you
I don't remember that
50
resolution.
billion?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well,
Come on, no, be real. Like, what did you really think that you were gonna do 6 months in?
actually, yes. Quit cigarettes. And actually, I've been utilizing. I don't want to, be a walking billboard here, but I've been using these pouches to really give that dose of nicotine towards my brain, and it's been helping a lot. Honestly, it's like these little pouches you put under your lip. And
Do you have one in now?
Yes, I do, and they're amazing. And I don't want to sponsor nobody because they keep increasing their prices every month. So, but we're not gonna get there. But yes, I've been doing really, really well because I love my American spirit. My goodness, and honestly, having these pouches, man, I was able to alleviate and not smoke anymore whenever I really want to.
So you think it really helped?
It really did. It really did help. I
shit.
will admit it's a really great product that I really wish I could just get a
Well,
sponsor.
I mean, there's more than one though. So is it just the pouches and nicotine?
It's just the pouches. Yeah, I just like
And so have you considered vaping instead?
not. So vaping, of course, there's a lot of scientific
Hey, guys.
evidence on how that is unhealthy because the little coil that burns that juice, that e-liquid. It's not really good for your lungs, and I've got a medical profession right here to.
Well, it
agree
heats up
on
your
that.
lungs, right?
Yeah, it's definitely bad.
See?
Yeah.
And I don't want to put anything in my lungs because I'd rather have oxygen, maybe a little bit of weed here and there, but oxygen is always going to be my go-to.
A little bit of here and there, just a little bit.
Once a year.
Once a
That's
year?
another thing.
So you quit cigarettes. Now you're on the nicotine patch / pill / now when are you going to be off of the nicotine pill?
I would say
Oh, good question.
that's gonna be That's a really good.
Because isn't it like 4-week thing where it's like or 2 or 8-week tempers you off?
You just drop it. Have you been dropping it?
Yeah, I went from 6 milligrams to 3 milligrams, and then sometimes I just put like one of those minty breath mints, and just to give that placebo effect. And sometimes it works, but then I'm like, something ain't right. I need to make a run to 7-Eleven real quick and pick up some of that pouch.
Did that help?
It does help. Really, really, really
Yeah.
interesting.
I know some of them are a whole kit. It's like, oh, here's an 8-week kit. By the time you're done with 8 weeks, you're off of it. You need to get one of those. So it's like the full plan all the way through.
That is the most cartoon. You hit your funny boner.
Ow.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah, that's
Feels like a TV.
Yeah, that's the ulnar nerve.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the ulnar nerve. It's right here in between your bones right here, but it's really soft tissue right there, so it's easy to hit. And yeah, your whole arm will go numb.
Ooh, I hate
And it actually hurts. I've hit it pretty bad where it's hurt for like 20 minutes.
Shit
like,
hurts so
numb,
bad.
Like, yeah.
Man. And the butt cheek too. Apparently on the butt cheek, it's like a funny bone thing where it's like if you hit it in a certain way, because I have my friends, they like to kick my ass because of soccer, and and whenever they do that, I do my little dance. And whenever you get this is gonna help you guys. I promise you. Whenever you get like hurt or bruised, just do this. Jump around and do this. Shake your hands around, and for some odd reason, something happens in your brain where it's like. It's just to move away from that pain that I got, and it's one thing I recommend if you do get hurt. Just do a little hand flapping, a little dance. It really helps.
Well, good. Does that
raise your adrenaline?
It does, but it also helps with the pain, which is amazing. I think everybody should know that. It should be on a Snapple cap,
So next week, when we make an Instagram short and we're promoting the show, guess what short I'm using?
Which one?
The hands going, oh!
Okay, I love it.
Okay, so it's because of the adrenaline and blood flow. So it just helps ease it out. Scott,
Yeah.
same question.
Well, my resolutions are going pretty well. I've basically, mine are vague, but also basic, simple. It's just basically continue the journey, continue the plan, continue to eat right, continue to do my exercises. Basically right now I'm at 4 days a week of hockey, 2 days roller, 2 days ice, and then I run the other 2 days and, work out at home now. But I did actually cancel my gym membership because I just work out at home now. And
doesn't that save time though?
Yeah, it definitely saves time because like the workout I'm doing is literally 20 minutes anyway. And that's how long the drive is to go to the gym. So I'm already done. So I had to invest in some home equipment though to be able to do that. And yeah, I don't have all the nice fancy stuff, and I'm like, I don't have a sauna or a pool or a spa, but I don't really care that much about that. The sauna is really good. I kind of wish I had a sauna at the house. That'd be really dope.
But now you could. Okay, so I was looking into that too. Like just a 2-seater sauna, they're actually reasonable.
Yeah, no, it's like for like $2,000 you get an indoor sauna.
Or a cheaper route is get a sauna suit for $40 on Amazon. It's like this little aluminum foil suit you just put on. You look like a little spaceman walking around the household. But shit, I mean, I don't know.
Well, maybe. I haven't really looked into that, but I mean, I do like the idea of sweating though. But it's just I've had I went through like 3 weeks where I didn't do anything, like through that 5 months period. So there's times where like, okay, you take a time off and then who cares? Like it's not that big of a deal. There's been studies where it's like they've had people work out like say 3 days a week, and then they had people that worked and like nonstop, and then they had people that worked out like say 4 days a week, but then they did it for like a month, and they took like 3 weeks off or even a month off, and then they like came back and like tested their strength levels. It's actually the people that took time off actually had better gains in the long run. So you even though when they started back up after taking the 3 weeks to a month off, they actually came back weaker as when they hit their peak, but they actually gained a lot faster and actually surpassed the other people. So you got to figure out what works for you.
You're down too much, where if you push yourself, because I've seen myself do this. Okay, so as I'll just admit to it. So I recently started doing yoga a couple weeks ago, and now that I'm 3 weeks in, I noticed the first week. Okay. So the very, very first week, there's this one where it's weird because I'm a big guy. I have a belly now. And so I couldn't lift. You have to lift your legs all the way back. And so that I'm on my belly, which I'm sure is easy for you guys. But so imagine I'm laying on my back and I put my knees up and then all the way back. So I'm just basically on my neck and on my back. It took me 3 weeks to be able to do that. If I would have tried that on the first 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure I would have snapped my neck. I kept trying, I kept pushing it, and you're a little closer, and then you're a little closer, and then you finally do it, and you're like, woo!
Yeah, so yoga is like a kind of a form. I mean, there's a bunch of different types of yogas, but I look at yoga. It can be a strength building exercises, and it's like calisthenics because you use your body weight, and then there's weight, and it's like combining stretching too, though. Like sometimes. There's so many different kinds of yoga, but I do like it. It's simple, it's easy, and thing is, you just need a floor. Like, you don't need any fancy things, you know what I mean?
But there's no shock on my body. Like, okay, when we worked out with a couple of the weights, I would be frustrated because my one right shoulder would be in pain, and my left shoulder's like, bro, I'm bored, give me more.
Yeah.
Where with this one, I've been able to work out everything easily, where both sides are like, oh, whoa, let's take a break, buddy, let's take a break.
Yeah, without going into details, there's so many different workout plans. The whole point is just find one and stick with it, or create your own and stick with it, and stick with it for 6 weeks, 6 months. This is a 10-year, 15-year plan. Don't look at this as just like, oh, I'm gonna do this for 3 months, 2 months. Like, you have to keep, aligning yourself up and finish your program. That's the thing, because if you stop working out, then time's gonna pass by, and whatever excuse you have, like some people don't want to run because they think they're gonna lose all this weight. Or they're going to get skinnier, or some people, they don't want to lift weights. Like, women don't want to lift weights because they're like, oh, I'm going to get all muscular. It's like, no, that's not going to happen. Those guys that are muscular, they've been working out for 10, 15, 20 years. Some of them.
That didn't happen overnight.
You know what I mean? If you look at a lot of fitness models, they're in their 30s or 40s. You know what I mean? And a lot of them started when they're young. Some of them even 15, 16. Plus, that's not even counting the genetic side that they have where they're kind of blessed.
Having it at 16 and keep it.
Yeah, imagine like the 5%, or I don't know what percent it is, but it's a low percent that are genetically blessed, and they're already they're in great shape, and then they naturally go to sports, and then they go to college sports, and now they're like 24, 25, and then if they just stay working out, like, they're gonna look really good, So once they get their if their diet's on point. I'm sure at that point they should have learned about that, because that's one thing that a lot of athletes have to do is they have to learn about nutrition after the fact.
Oh yeah.
Well, with that,
I love muscular women.
I was just showing, and I feel like it ties into this because I know Vlad picks on himself sometimes. So my little brother, the one that I just showed you, Mr. Marine, thanks for serving, all that fun jazz.
Oh, no.
Going forward, so if he never started working out, if he didn't meet a couple of his friends, he would look exactly like you. He was on pace to be your size. To Scott's credit, he's probably just as big, if not bigger, buffer, whatever. I don't really know the political terms. But that didn't happen overnight. That's taken from ages 18 to now, I think the little buddy's 33, 34. And so you look at the pictures like I was showing you before we went live.
Oh my God.
And like I was like, yo, look at those arms. That's a big man. Yeah, but that didn't happen yesterday or even 2 days or 3 days. Jesus, that's been an ongoing battle for 15 years.
Your hair was darker when you were younger. That's crazy.
Rarely things happen by accident. I mean, yeah, people do win the lottery. People get blessed and they're lucky, like in that sense, But generally, things happen because you made a conscious effort to work towards that goal. And the goal doesn't even matter. It's like, are you going to do the work to work towards whatever it is you want? Because that's like that journey or that pathway, that's what matters. That the systems that like, hey, I'm going to do this every day or every other day or once a week or once a month, whatever it is, you got to do it often enough to where you're going to get a long-term benefit. If you go work out now and then you don't work out a year from now, did you really benefit from that workout? Not really. It's like if you eat today, like, okay, it's just one meal out of, if you eat 3 meals a day, that's over 1,000 meals a year. You know what I mean? So that's 0.1%. 0.1% is not going to have a whole lot of change. But now 0.1% over the course of, 300 days, okay, now we're talking, 30% change or potential, so yeah, don't give up on what you're trying to accomplish.
Well, I've been downing 4 Big Macs, and I love Big Macs. They're notorious for that sauce and the double patty action.
But if you're gaining weight, that's not a problem as long as you're working out accordingly.
Well, yeah, but I poop out after like a
Cool. That just is an excuse to work out more.
There we go. It's done.
That's all waste product.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The problem is that if you're having poops like that, then that means you're still losing weight, which means you need to work out more and eat more.
But every time I work out, I still have to poop.
Everybody poops, but
I poop way more than everybody.
everybody poops.
But I poop way more.
It's based on all the food that's not absorbed in your body. It's waste product that it's getting rid of.
Yeah.
Noted.
Go eat 2 large Costco pizzas a day then.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's always more you can eat. You can drink a gallon of milk a day. I don't recommend those things necessarily, but I've watched some videos where this guy is huge and he's like, "Oh, just try drinking a gallon of milk every day."
No,
he's like, "You'll guarantee you gain weight."
That's true. I did try that, but holy crap!
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy. I love milk, and milk tastes delicious. But like I've noticed,
So wait, you can gain weight on milk?
yeah, the lactose and the fat properties behind it.
Well, it's just high calorie, you know, and it's just you're drinking
is that
it.
healthy?
Yeah, no, not really.
I can't imagine that being healthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but some guys, that's what they recommend to do.
Ooh, random question from the MidWay chat. Hi, meet me, everybody over there. How tall are you guys?
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry.
I
It's
am 6'11".
You can see it so much more clearly now.
6'13", 15.
How old are you? How tall are you?
6'13". No, I'm 5'7".
He's 5'7".
On
He's
Tinder, I'm
5'7".
5'8".
Andrew Tate over there is like 6'1".
6 foot.
He doesn't like that.
6 foot.
No, I just can't lie. It's 6 foot. Yeah.
He's 6
If
foot.
I just had that extra inch, though, isn't that all? Doesn't the extra inch matter? The extra D.
It's all about that one extra inch.
If I hold my back straight, I increase by 2 inches.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're not particularly setting up like necessarily straight either, but yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's how tall we are. Any other questions for the audience? We'd love to answer some questions,
because with the height one. How much do I
if
weigh?
I were to sit upright, it'd be like this.
130.
One of them was saying they think you're 7 foot 5 inches. The other one thinks you have a 7 inches.
I have a 7 incher.
The other just told me a legend. Thanks.
The 7. So if you're 7 foot, the last statistics I looked at, if you're over 7 foot, there's a 17% chance that you're literally in the NBA right now in this moment.
Or
that's how rare it is to be 7 foot.
Tall people die faster.
Oh yeah, they got the body. It's not like you can't like make yourself and then double everything. Like proportionally, it doesn't work out that way because
your heart.
Because
right?
I mean, your heart has to pump more. Yeah, I mean, if your heart did get bigger, I'm just saying it just doesn't work out like double the scale. Like we are fine-tuned specimens, to be this way.
Okay, speaking of fine-tuned.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a really good question for this, and it ties in. So you are a very fine-tuned specimen, very disciplined, strict. You have goals, you accomplish them, you keep yourself motivated, you even motivate others. So how do you celebrate your accomplishes along the way to reward yourself?
That's a good question.
So that you keep wanting to go.
Well, I look at it like I'm always 10 years out to where I want to be, so I don't even have time to celebrate, really. I don't really care to celebrate.
Like after a rep, do you I'm gonna beat my
the thing is, I just tell you what, go work out and tell me how you feel after you work out. You're gonna feel good.
I know you're right.
So it's like I'm getting celebratory responses every single day. That's my dopamine, and dopamine is a very addictive thing. Like imagine playing a video game for 4 hours every day. You will be addicted to that video game, like where you'll have to have it, like because that's where you're getting your dopamine from. But then if you start working out, you're going to get dopamine from that. So then your body will realize, wait, I actually want to work out. It's called a runner's high for a reason, but it's actually like dopamine production. You got to be very careful because that's a hormone. That's a very powerful hormone, very addictive substance. That's how people get addicted to high level drugs like methamphetamine, heroin, all this kind of stuff is because it ups their dopamine level so high that they feel so good. But the thing is, they didn't actually accomplish anything. You just took a drug. That's why drugs are bad, in that sense, because it's giving you artificial pleasure. But it's real pleasure to your body. It's still a chemical thing that you're getting, but I'd rather just work towards to get it.
I'm a devil's advocate. I don't mean what I say. I'm just going to devil's advocate. Listen, mister, if I'm 70 years old on my borderline deathbed and I can't do anything else, and my only accomplishment is completing and getting all of the gems and all of the gold in some video game, and I make some little shithead 16-year-old cry because I beat his character's ass and stole his gold. God damn it, that's accomplishing something, and that's living my best 70-year-old on my deathbed life, making a 16-year-old cry like a bitch because I took his gold in a video game.
Well, some people thrive on other people's misery.
Ooh.
So that's basically what that guy has. He might hate himself so much that he can only have a
That's all he
decent
has,
moment
right?
is if he could hurt someone else. And that's just someone I just feel sorry for because I really don't know how to help them because at the end of the day they got to help themselves or want to change, and then they have to believe in themselves. You have to believe in yourself because nobody's gonna believe in you for you. Maybe your mom will when you're 2 years old, but like after that, like once you're an adult, like you have to believe in yourself. You might have friends and support system, and a family and support system that are encouraging, but at the end of the day, they can't do the work for you anyway. So and Michael J. Fox, I watched this interview. Maybe you guys have seen it. Like he just did this like 8-9 days ago.
That's a
And
good one.
basically, one thing he said was, and I only watched like the 8-minute one. I know he did like a longer one, but either way, what he said is, if your gratitude makes motivation sustainable, basically.
So is money.
So you got to be grateful for what you have. That there's someone always in worse situation than you, and you got to remember that. And just look, just the fact that you can even listen to this and watch this, that shows that you're blessed to a certain level. And if you can't appreciate that and take it for granted, well, then one day you might be 70 on your deathbed, let alone 47 on your deathbed. You don't really know what's going to happen, but if you don't take care of yourself, you're definitely going to hit the grave sooner. And I met a patient today that was 80 years old, and he still does 3 sets of 20 push-ups, which isn't like it's not a whole lot, but it's probably more than a decent amount of people. He's 80 years old. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing 70 years old on their deathbed because they're too far past my help at this point, for the most part. So basically, you just gotta don't think about age and don't wait until you're 70 to quit smoking cigarettes. Start now in your 20s. Like that's okay. Like that way, you're not gonna have those long-term uh, uh, things hurting you. Because like I actually had another patient today. She's having COPD. She could barely walk from here to the street right there, let alone even to the bathroom. In her house, she's saying she's like out of breath. And she started smoking when she was like 45, and she only smoked for like 10 years on and off. Like not even, she wasn't even like a heavy smoker, but she was at that age. No, she said she was fine. But she got that COPD like 30 years after she quit. I think she's like 70 now. So maybe like 20 years. So she smoked for like 5-10 years. She wasn't, now everyone says their own story, but basically she said, yeah, she only smoked, maybe she'll smoke 5 cigarettes in one day and then she won't smoke for like a week or whatever. That was her story. But, that's just like talking to a gambler though. It's like, oh yeah, when you won that big time, yeah, I know, but like,
how many losses was
exactly. And you could be like, oh, I know people at 95 that smoke cigarettes and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, fine, you can take that gamble. That's just like saying, oh yeah, maybe I am gonna be an NHL player.
Is that trying to be that 18%, right?
Yeah, well, like 17. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to be 70%. You're never you're not in that category. You're just not in that category. But at that, even if you want, well, even that, let's talk even like 1 in a million. Some people are 1 in a million to where they're just so blessed genetically. They're the ones that are like Olympic athletes and stuff like that don't even like, and then you can go to the guy that didn't even try, but those guys still got to work hard towards it, so like even like Michael Phelps, he was just around like when I was graduating, and that's why I remember him. But like his diet was like 10 to 15,000 something like that calories every day. So he's working out, but he's also working out 6, 7, 8 hours a day. That's a full-time job. So, and here's another thing. You don't need to rush anything if you want to gain weight, lose weight, or whatever. Like, the thing is, don't rush it. Like we were talking about this earlier, like, it's really easy to gain like 100 pounds in 10 years. And if you actually do the math, it's like, okay, that's 10 pounds a year. You divide it by a month, that's only like 3/4 of a pound. That's like barely like, it's 3/4 of a pound a month. Like, you're not going to notice that.
I'm trying to get
that's how people wake up and they're like, you know what? I'm 30, 40, 100 pounds overweight. Like because it's just like, well, what have I been doing the last 10 years? Well, that's the whole thing. And then they look back, it's like, but the thing is, some people decide you're at the crossroad. Now it's like, now you have like the observation, like the understanding of where you're at now. You're like, well, I'm here, but wait, I don't want to be here. It starts with that. You have to look at yourself. You got, before looking out and judging someone else or saying, oh, I wish I had that or whatever, they're lucky or however you're looking at it. Instead of looking out, look within. Look within. If you're going to look out, look at the mirror first. And then you got to look at your life and see what you're doing. And then it's like, do you really want to take the steps to change or not? And that's the thing. I don't judge people, but in that sense, if they don't want to do it, that's their choice. We're in America. You're not going to get punished. You're not going to go to jail because you're overweight or something like that. That'd be ridiculous. Because some people do have a genuine, they have a health problem. That's fine. But sometimes, you you make your own bed, you got to lay in it, you know, like the whole cigarette issue, you know.
I'm just trying
Well,
to
for
get.
me-
I'm trying to get fat enough to get rid of these little bone
Okay,
molecules.
so and there are other societies, and I can start looking up what other nations if we get to that level. But I know there's other cultures where when you start getting pudgy, for lack of better words, they start letting you know. And I'll tell you what, me personally, whenever I go to the hockey rink, the boys don't hold back. They're like, damn, you got big, bro. But guess what that does? Every single time I gotta hear their shit, it makes me want to work out more. It makes me use the bike more. Whatever. It's because they're honestly just giving me a like, buddy, I love you. Come over for dinner. If you ever run into problems, I got you. Need food, money, whatever. But at the end of the day, damn, homie, you got pudgy. You a little like, ooh, look at that little belly down there. Oh, so cute. Yo, and it's, but the thing is that if you actually express yourself with love, and you're like, bro, I care about you, but damn, you got big. What we gonna do about this? And it's not a, you got big, you fat, you loser, blah, blah, blah. It's, oh, you big. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah,
I'm
You all right?
surprised because America, they're more accepting towards
No,
people
America's
that like
so
that.
PC.
No,
Best
they're
example.
like in other
best
countries, yeah, like they won't make
Okay,
fun
I'll
of
tell
you,
you-
but
I'll
like
tell you
America,
how
you
I
get
think
canceled.
Hear me out. So doing the Uber and having the Tesla, yeah, baby flex, sneaking that in. Nobody knows how to get the hell in my car. They don't. And so here's the thing. I have to watch them try and get in my car. And it's borderline frustrating, but super funny. Super duper funny. But if I tell them what to do before they ask, they go, rah, 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 rah. Now, if I wait and they knock on my window, they wave at me, they give the like, yo, well, what do I do? I tell them, I'll laugh a little bit, I roll down the window, you're like, listen, this is okay, here's what you do, now get in the car. And it's all okay. But if I tell them before they ask me, I can almost say it's a 50-50 split. Half of them are going to get their Wheaties in a bunch, and the other half are going to be cool with it. But the amount of PC people out here, it's gotten to the point where I literally refuse to tell you what to do until you ask me. Because it's not worth whether I'm going to figure out whether it's, again, it's a 50-50.
Yeah, and like you said, it's only like your good buddies have known you for a long time, you know, playing hockey and stuff. These aren't just like some random strangers.
Right.
A random stranger wouldn't say anything.
And that's what I
You know,
mean.
honestly, you look better than a
They
random
wouldn't
stranger anyway, like, which is like, you know. But that's the thing. You wouldn't go to a random stranger and say, oh, you need to do this and do that or whatever. Like, it's just out of place, yeah.
One.
But like, it's a culture thing. Because there's some cultures where it's like, I think it's in like South Korea where it's like if you gain a little weight, like the girl won't go out, she has to start working out if she gets a little pudgy. You know, that's more of a culture thing. Ours is like, hey, we'll just accept you for everything, even though we understand, hey, you know, you don't want to be completely obese. I mean, a little fat is not actually a bad thing. You know, you don't need a six pack by no means. You know what I mean? It's actually, you know, there's a range of healthy. It's not like one thing healthy. Like people that have six pack, they're generally like 15% body fat. If they're like a little bit, like you could kind of see them, and then if they're like super cut, they're like 1%. I mean, not 1%, one single digit. I mean, 9% or less, which is a lot of work and a lot of dedication, and sometimes unhealthy actually. But they're doing it for, you know, views and money and stuff like that, and clout. Question? What's a question?
Okay, so with that, are you saying that like because I caught so buying ground beef the other day, I caught there was a 15% and then a 7%.
Mm-hmm.
And the 7% is supposed to be so much healthier. Is that the same thing where the 15%, aka the six pack, isn't going to be as healthy as say like yourself where I don't think you have a six pack, but you might be leaner in better health, more stamina, more. Would you say that increases your longevity because on your heart, you know, if you're leaner like that, if you're at the right lean, does your heart work better?
Well, it's definitely going to have less tissue to supply. So less work. You know, like people that are really, really overweight, their body, there's blood vessels within all that fat and stuff that have, you know, to sustain it. So that, you know, yes, it requires more work on the heart to be able just to sustain that fat. So yeah, you don't want overabundance in fat. And you don't need to go to completely zero, you know, because you do need a certain amount level of fat. Somewhere around, you know, 10 to 20%, you know, for males. And then it's even a little bit higher for females. Females can have a little bit more fat, and that's normal. So, like, yeah, like, that comes back to like, don't compare yourself to anybody else. You know, you can find people that maybe have a similar body type.
Vladimir, we can see you on camera.
See where they went.
I'm trying to adjust this thing. It's squeezing my belly. There you go.
But yeah, just, you know.
Beer belly.
Okay, so with that, is so the roundabout question, the longevity of, say, yourself, if you maintain this, because that's what you're talking about, do you think that increases the lifelong? And where I'm going with this is, like, you don't really see bodybuilders hit 80 years old, but you see people of your shape, size, and appearance, and Vladimir's hit 80, 90, 100. If I'm being honest, you two were kind of in the middle, like my grandfather on the stature picture, and he just turned 84, and he's been about that size his whole life.
Yeah, I rarely see people in their 90s that are overweight. Yep. I've seen a few, like that guy that was 80. He could have lost. He might be able to lose a good 50. Oh, he was 220, and he was 6'1", I think, or something like that. So it's like he could definitely go to like 190. He could definitely lose a good 30 pounds, but he wasn't like super overweight. You know what I mean? But he did have, but all of it was like right here though. You know, a nice 30 pounds right there. You know, so everyone, you know, some people it goes on their belly, some people are kind of more spread out, but that's kind of a genetic where it's going to go. But you know, and like the ground beef thing too, though, like just because it's 7% fat or 50% fat doesn't mean one's healthier than the other. You want to go grass fed, grass finished, which means, because sometimes they actually feed it grass and then they're like, oh well, we fed it grass, we call it grass fed, but then they feed it grass for a little bit, then they just go back to feeding it grains anyway. That's a whole
what
marketing
dirty dogs.
Yeah, so now it has to say grass fed, grass finished. You know, where it's like supposedly that means that they've eaten grass the whole time. You know, which is the natural
$20 for ground beef.
No, it's not even that expensive. $18. Actually, $20 is going to get you 3 pounds, though. No, it's not even that much. It's like $6.50 a pound
Boogers.
for organic beef, organic grass-fed beef. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just Walmart, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's like $6.50 a pound. And if you don't want to go organic, like you don't necessarily have to go organic. If you just go even grass-fed, you could go. It's like $5.50. And then like I don't even know if you really need to go organic. Like you don't, like, it's not like a deal breaker necessarily if you're just going grain-fed. I'm
trying to eat organically, and I assume that Trader Joe's offers those types of options.
Okay,
yeah.
But
does that sound healthy?
I thought what?
Here's and I'll just stop you right there. And so sometimes New Year's resolutions, because kind of that was the main theme here. Sometimes are you setting yourself up for the wrong track? And here's my first thought: people in the 1920s, aka organic food, 100 years ago, how long did they live?
Well, you mean people born in the 20s?
If I was buying organic food that was based on the same creation from 1920s, how long did people eating that food live? It's not all of science bad, just because we don't understand all of it.
Well, there's so many complex variables, dude. You know, like, did they do exercises or this or that, you know? And also medical care, being able to do angiograms and stuff like that, being able to go through the coronary arteries of the heart, putting stents in, like, that's huge. And then, like, being able just to identify that before it becomes a death situation, a fatal situation, where they could go there and do a heart surgery on a bypass, and they know they could take out a vein. They harvest a great saphenous vein, and then they put it in the heart. And that vein is long enough that they could do a quadruple, even a quintuplet bypass, you know, just off the one vein. So it depends on what's blocked and by they get in there. But I'm saying, like, stuff like that has helped people live a long time, or having like diabetes medicine, you know, stuff like that.
The little things.
No.
Yeah. So
that makes sense. There's so many other things to tap into.
Yeah, because like back to the
So
organic.
we don't know then, right?
Well, yeah, it's hard. I mean, yeah, I couldn't answer that fully. Like, but like back to the organic thing. There's also another, because organic used to be, in my mind, it's and no hormones, no antibiotics. But guess what? There's meat out there. They're not certified organic, because now that's like a whole nother situation where it's like, I gotta have this company certify me with the stamp. It's like, I don't got time for that, maybe. You know,
how expensive
but
is that?
Yeah, then you got to pay for that. It's like, is it really like, is that? But then this one guy, this company, they're saying, look, we're not putting hormones in it, we're not putting antibiotics, but we just don't have the organic seal. You know, to get the organic seal, that's going to cost you. You know, so it's like, okay, so like there's levels to it, but the thing is, junk food and processed food is the main problem. So
That makes sense.
Like
fast
especially the
food is
processed
very
food.
like
bad.
98 types
Because-
of chemicals in a packet of
Right.
donuts.
You look at like that's why I'm not really saying I'm not talking crud on just standard beef. You know what I mean? Because look, if you look at it, it says ingredients : beef. That's it.
Colon? Ew.
Yeah, maybe sometimes it'll say salt, but like look at beef jerky now. All the kinds of crap they put in there. It's
All
like
the
beef jerky
preservatives.
would be so great if it was just salt and beef, like it should be.
Yeah, I had
But
a
they add all this
syringe
extra stuff in there. But they even had sugar in there. They had 20 grams of sugar. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the size. But I mean, what do you need to add all the sugar for? You should it tastes good enough already. So that's the thing. People just aren't educated because it's not really taught in school either. Like I learned about nutrition in college. And then
class. You took an actual class.
I actually
for it,
took
yeah?
a nutrition class. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I'm just like, oh, it says healthy on it. I was like, buy that shit.
Well, see, that's letting someone else decide for you without you. It's kind of like
Deciding.
even everything I
Yeah.
say, you should look it up yourself. You shouldn't necessarily. I could be wrong in some instances, or what I'm saying could be wrong for you, right? So you have to figure out what's right and what's wrong for you. And guess what? You gotta test. You gotta test things. Not think it's like the girl. I mean, I don't even know if girls always say it, but I have heard like, oh, I don't want to lift weights because it's gonna make me look like a bodybuilder. But it's like that doesn't happen. Oh, like back to it's like that doesn't like. How about you go lift weights and see how you feel? You're not gonna suddenly blow up like that,
No.
Like even girls that are like anyone that's in shape, girls or male, like it's dedication of years.
Most of it would just get them fit, right? I imagine.
Well, it also depends on what they're doing. If they're not doing enough, you're still not going to get fit. Like there's some people that they refuse to change their diet, and that's why they're still overweight, even though they actually do work out and stuff. Like I know plenty of hockey players, and they're freaking good hockey players. Like because on ice or even roller, having weight is not necessarily a bad thing. Like you could still move because you're using your legs and stuff like that. It's a technique. But like it doesn't, and they're like in shape, like they can skate like a whole game or whatever. Like but the thing is like they still eat junk food though. They still drink, they still do this, like I'm on a team called the Beer League Bullies, saying what do you think they do? They drink all the time before games, after games. That's just what they do.
Shout out to the Beer League Bullies. Hate you guys. Love you.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, that's what you did, man. That's a
Well, I
story
did
for
beat them
another
though,
day.
but that's kind of funny. They just didn't want to play against me. But anyway, the point is, it's like some people don't want to give that up though, and like that's when I say I don't judge people because like,
But where's the line?
what difference does it make to me that this person is doing something that I wouldn't do? Who cares? You know what I mean? Now, if they're trying to put a gun to my head and have me do it, that's a different story. You know what I mean? But like for the most part, everyone can do whatever they want to do. That's like the freeness of this country. It's like.
Well,
And that's why I say, if people want to get fat, let them get fat. That's how I look at it. Like, it just sucks when it's like, okay, our medical overall expense goes high because guess what? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Whoa.
And if those are the same price, if it's $1 for for the ounce of prevention, it's $16 for the cure.
oh, man.
So it's like you could pay $1 a month to save your life, and now it's going to be 16 or 160. Cancer medication. I know people that die because they can't afford the cancer medication. You know what I mean?
Well, that shit's ridiculous.
You may not have insurance. I mean, we're talking like I actually knew a guy that I think he had to pay $300 a day for a shot, and I think he needed the shot for like 45 days. And he was like, that's what he said. But he had a business, so he had money saved up and stuff. But he's like, dang, I don't know how the regular person would do. He's like, this is ridiculous. Like it's like every 3 days it's $1,500, bro. Or 4 to 5 days, sorry. But it's
I'm
like
just looking at my life and like, okay, well,
it's $10,000 a month though.
could he? Yeah, okay. So, I mean,
So just look at it that way. Like, yeah, if he had money saved up, you know what I mean, and he
even
was
with
making
my
okay
saved
money.
up money.
But I don't think
feel
he wasn't
blessed.
like. I mean, I don't know if he was
Was
a
he
millionaire.
able to work those 45 days?
Well, he had his own business. He sold army surplus supplies and stuff.
Okay, so a normal man like myself, I'm thinking like, if I could work, maybe I could stretch that. Maybe it's like, yeah, I'll see off I work 15 hours a day. How does a normal man do that?
Well, I mean, the thing is, most people don't have like 10 grand just like sitting around and stuff. Like, I know someone of
Shit, even 10, you need 30 though.
Well, then you got bills too. I mean, 'cause we're just
That's what I'm
talking 10
saying. That's what I'm
just
saying,
for
yeah.
just for the shots. You know what I mean? And that's actually, and remember, this is like 20 years ago almost. So it's like they're way
God,
crazy
man.
expensive now. Like, like people, you're losing your house, your insurance. It's like if you have insurance, you might be able to get away with it.
Some people go to other countries to avoid paying the high costs affiliated with the American healthcare system, which is really.
And that's like someone that they have enough sense and know-how where they're not completely broke, where they can go and like take that time and go adventure off and stuff like that.
I'm about to go to India to get a root canal because that shit's only $200 here, while in America it's $4K.
And that I'm not against because their medical training is like pretty much pretty good. Yeah.
The thing is that
it might. I don't know if it's the same, but it's up. It depends though. I have heard one doctor say, "Oh, this," like some schools are like, "Oh, I would not let that doctor operate on my dog," type of thing. But guess what? She still had the credentials to work over here. She just had to do a couple of years to like make her doctor legit here.
Well, there's legit here and legit there. And so, because you guys know, I have a tooth problem as well, and I have been looking into like not doing it here and saving and all that BS. And I will say there are plenty of foreign countries where, okay, fine, they might be 13 years behind, but imagine if they had the best top of the notch technology and education from our 2010 standards. When you went to the dentist in 2010, and they were the most knowledgeable you could be of 2010. With the most top of the top Orange County bougie bullshit, would you not be okay with going there?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like 10 years ago is not that bad. 15 years ago, like 2009, 2010. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Like
a doctor in Orange County 2023, of course he's gonna put that down. But.
Yeah, and then like there's this product that we sell for vein surgery right now that it's only been around for 3 years, but guess what? They literally copied this other device that's been around 20 years, but then they just came and offered it cheaper. But it's literally the same thing.
Yeah,
but like a new doctor, like you get it, like
2010 or above. If everything in that office is 2010 or newer, and you know they have the medical knowledge of a top 2010 doctor, why are you not going overseas? You know you're gonna get treated right. You're gonna get what you need. Like, how much has the dentist field, for that example, changed?
Yeah, and medical change is really slow, actually, really slow.
And I think with the internet, it allows doctors to catch up. Where even myself, I've sent some emails where I'm like, hey, here's what I'm curious of. Here's kind of like a YouTube video or something. What's your take? And they're like, oh, yeah. Damn. They can look it up. They have the tools now. The internet helps that education. So it thins the gap.
That's true. The information era.
And one thing I liked about the pioneers on the technology, and like a good example is like this country, like the telephones, like they're above ground or underground or whatever, but the point is they're all wires and stuff. And then like after they figured out, oh, now we can put wireless towers. But then like a country like South Korea, it's a smaller country, so that's a whole different thing. But it's like, let's skip all the wires. Let's just go straight to these towers and make the whole country wireless instantly. You know what I mean? Like, so in other words, like a country right now that's like, hey, we're gonna go first world, so to speak. It's like, well, why would we go start technology that was like why are we gonna put a railroad system in there if you don't already have one? Like, you might not even do that. And that's a different thing. Railroad can be. I don't know. Let's just go back to like that.
Why have a railroad when we have a boring tunnel?
Oh
exactly. God. Yeah.
That shit's so useless.
Or like, no, it's not. You could do 100 levels.
It's a car that goes under a tunnel. Why don't we have a train yet?
No traffic.
We need trains.
And you can go like 100 levels down. Trains. That's crazy.
Why the hell we need a boring tower? A car that's literally going in a tunnel? Are you kidding
Imagine
me?
getting to New York in 2 hours. That's
amazing. I don't blame you. But like, maybe instead of cars, let's put maybe a train track that guides the electricity towards the vehicle and not have to make a pit stop every interval of this boring tunnel. That's
okay, but now
maybe there could be a better way to make it process. Like a vacuum, you need a vacuum seal to like just suck you through.
The boring tunnel goes all the way to New York, and you charge along the way, so you don't have to stop, and the car drives you.
So you have to stop, charge your vehicle, and then go.
No.
Then how is
it? Charges all the way on the boring tunnel, all the way to New York.
Oh, never mind then. I have never been there.
You just sit in your car. You know it happens in 15 hours. You should try the boring tunnel.
It does need to go 1,000 miles an hour though.
It does. Oh.
Because I'm saying like New York is like 3,000 something.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to be going 1,000 miles an hour to make it 3 hours. That'd be worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's what
you just have a backpack like, hey, we're gonna be in New York. That'd be cool. But the thing is, you got to get over the people's
but imagine
claustrophobic. They're like, wait a minute, I'm in this tunnel. Like if something goes wrong, I'm like, You get what I'm saying?
No, you guys have the wrong idea.
No, I mean people are gonna
My
really be worried
idea
about
is
that.
I have my own car. I get in that tunnel and I'm in New York in 3 hours.
Okay, you have your own car, and then a tire goes flat.
Very bad for the battery, I would imagine. Are you kidding?
What?
I'm saying you want a device like a spaceship
Haters.
that's foolproof.
Yeah, like a pod.
Yeah, like
Futurama.
a pod. Look, because if you're in a car, a flat tire, something, whatever, like you don't want to deal with no
Airless-
problems. It's got to be
airless
problemless.
tires.
Problemless.
Airless
That's true.
tires.
No,
Or
they're
if I'm
actually
sucked on the
inefficient.
right vacuum.
There's a science
If I'm
behind
sucked
it.
on the right vacuum, hopefully I'll be sucked in midair and I won't be using any of it.
Well, I'd rather have a vacuum where it's like it sucks you
Like, if
then
there's
you
like a
could then you
pod-
could exceed 1,000 miles an hour.
If there's like a pod where your car could just roll in and then a pod closes and it utilizes air circulation to just propel you to the other station pod,
Yeah.
then that would be more of a logical pretense when it comes to the any type of
Everybody.
tunneling
If you're,
institution.
yeah, if you're going 1,000 miles an hour, but there is a problem in one car and you're like coming up to it.
Oh yeah,
So there have to be a way.
There's got to be there's got to be a logical sense to it. Like, I mean, I commend Elon Musk for creating a way to even get from point A to point B, because like it's commendable. It's like, wow, okay, fuck it. It's the only closest thing we'll have to a bullet train, and that's.
Okay, so
Well,
we
I
all
mean,
live
he's
here.
he's on the right track because like space or air in space is already it's congested to a degree, not like crazy, but like cars already congested.
have
So
tall
it's like
buildings here.
underground, when you got tall buildings, unless. Yeah, and plus, like the thing is, like here's a flight. Like I learned from a pilot. He says it's always better to wish you're on the ground be on the ground and wish you're in the air than it be in the air and wish you're on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're in the air and there's some problem, like, oh yeah, you're not happy.
Also,
You're about to die.
like the electromagnetic waves that come within a certain atmospheric level kind of bothers me.
Yeah, you might be outside. If you're in the stratosphere, you're getting all those UV rays that the atmosphere is not protecting you from.
I don't like that. That bothers me a lot. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I
but-
don't like planes.
I mean, yeah.
It's got to be a train, guys. Why can't we have a bullet train, America?
Bro,
Please.
I stand by
I hate
that, and even
planes.
if it has to be through a car, and then we can move back on or not. But airless tires.
No
300
airless tires.
Airless tires.
I want to
300
go on a
miles an
random
hour.
spiel
I can
about
get to
why
New York in
airless
10
is
hours.
bad.
In my own car that doesn't stop, that'd be legendary.
Now, if they're interchangeable, then yes, I
Legendary.
could see that being logistical. But like, no, the airless tires are not good.
You can already purchase those right now.
Yeah, but they're not good.
They're like $1,000 a tire.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. Putting Michelin Man out of the fucking equation.
I imagine something like this, like a ride where it's like it slows down to a thing and like just slow enough where you could get on it, and then you're on it, and okay, you're on it, and then like once it gets past a certain point, then it just speeds up to 1,000 miles an hour, then you're gone. And then it's like the next one's like real slow. It's like okay, they walk on it, just like a carnival ride. It slows down, you get on it, and then all of a sudden, and then it goes.
I would be the Karen
There you
Fine
go.
racist to that
Yeah.
shit. I'm sorry. That's how America is.
And if it's run by, that's the stuff
Don't
that
you
AI
know
should
how
be.
America is. You're America now. young
I
man.
know.
Yeah, but that's the stuff we want AI and technology to do. It's the stuff where it's like, hey, if this guy falls asleep on the wheel and then everybody dies, kind of thing, or the engineer that forgets to do the button to switch
Then
the
we
track.
know.
You know what I mean? That's where we want AI to come in, where AI could check 1,000 times. Am I in the left lane like I'm supposed to be? And then it goes to the right. Well, you're just checking 1,000 times a second or whatever
AI already
interval.
has that. Best example I can think of. So I realized it on my phone with the facial ID thing and recognition. If I'm staring at my phone, it knows somehow to stay on bright screen.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I start straying away,
Oh no, you can't even unlock your phone unless you make your eyes contact
I
with
just-
the camera. If
Look,
you're
I'm gonna
looking
do it right
down,
now.
it may or may not unlock.
Look, it's
I
doing it
just,
right now.
I'm new. Listen, I'm new. I just barely read. Not to say that I haven't had an iPhone XR for a while in the Face ID, but like, I just started paying attention to how
Yeah.
my phone treats me. And
Yeah.
damn, we could have that everything. With that, I'm going with the idea of cars. Once the car finally knows, buddy, you're asleep. Let me wake you up, give you a jolt, maybe a nice electricity. You deserve to get shocked with electricity. Your ass falls asleep in
That's
the car.
true. I think,
waking
the
your ass up.
BMW
Whatever
model
it
does
takes.
that. The new one that came out.
Whatever it takes, you need a zzz, zzz.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Or
And
spray
so I do
water.
think
I know, I was
some
thinking
technology
spray
can be good. Okay, so I was talking to just today. We'll just go on a random tangent. So the drone world, huge fun. We talked about this last week, and I was talking to this guy he does all this photography stuff, and they won't let him do any photography on military bases with a DJI drone.
Oh, I could explain the logicism behind that.
Yeah.
See, so the drones, they emit, of course, as we spoke the other week, emits gigahertz connectivity, and it interferes within the military
Is that intentional?
geofencing. Oh, yeah, it's more like a scrambler. The military has like a scrambler to scramble the gigahertz emitting from the drone to make it not aerial, and it turns it off. I did that. I tested it out. I had my drone literally recording me on my electric skateboard, and then it deactivated because
You got too close to the zone.
precisely. It's called geofencing. Very interesting stuff.
No clue.
Pee pee poo poo.
Well,
One thing about like the AI and the deepfake, I don't know if we're talking about it here, but like the scary thing
We
is,
did last week.
if like the scammers are gonna be crazy, because like imagine they call your mom or somebody like that, your grandma, they're like, hey, and it sounds like your voice, hey, you gotta give me $20
I
or
told
whatever.
my mom to
You know,
be
you gotta,
careful.
you gotta just sell me right now or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's like if it sounds like you and it's like coming from your number, because
Yeah.
that could be all spoofed. It's like, yeah.
wow.
It's like, do you need to have something like that? You need to
That's
have like a active heart rate monitor, so it's like people can see your heart rate.
That is
It's
It's like, okay, I know he's alive at least. You know what I mean?
The
But it's like, are they
Simpsons made an
torturing him or
episode
what?
about
You know?
that. The
Oh, they did?
Simpsons, yeah, they did that. It was so fucking nuts. Oh my god, it's true. That's
Well,
what I'm
okay,
worried
so
about.
maybe not a heart rate. So I feel like best example. If me and my brothers if either of my little brothers were to ask me for money, even if it sounded like them, I would just ask them, "Yo, what's the old code?"
Oh, that's the smart.
And no, and I guarantee you they would both have the answer. The first 3 letters is all I would need to hear, and they would know. They would know. Even if they're listening right now, I guarantee you they could text me and give me the first 3 letters, like, done.
P.
Whatever the fuck.
Well, see, that's what's going to come down to. It's like something that, like,
Give me the code.
it's going to be some
give
kind
me
of
the
code or some passphrase,
Mhm.
some keyword, some safe
But
word.
Major corporations are
But
starting
it's
to do
something
that.
that's not written down. None of us use. I hope to God they don't use it anymore. Maybe they do it. I mean, but we all. It's like remembering a childhood phone number. Almost gonna have to get to that point.
Mhm.
Nobody writes it down. Nobody talks about it. You get told that one time away from all the technology, and you never bring it up again. And that's pretty much where we're getting.
Man, terrible stuff.
So we'll bring it back around, and we'll leave it at that because we only got about 5-10 minutes left. So, Vladimir, Scott, we're halfway through. Any goals for the next 6 months?
To completely alleviate myself from nicotine altogether. I don't want to rely on nicotine anymore. That's I know it gives you that jolt of dopamine, but I just don't want to rely on that. I want to create what Scott said, like create a brain reliability aspect towards working out. I want to train my brain to work out instead of relying on nicotine to give that dopamine. I want to be able to work out and then receive that dopamine as a reward. You know, that's one of the things. I just want to rearrange my dopamine levels to intake the healthy aspects of life to train my brain.
I'd say don't be afraid of scars. You know, don't be afraid of getting calloused. Don't be afraid of, it's like you want to learn guitar, your fingers are going to get calloused. It's going to hurt. You know what I mean? I'm saying, but it's the same thing. It's with your mind, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I mean by scarring. You know, it's like, because you're going to go through that hardship, and that's just part of it. Yeah, so you can do it, bro. I believe in you.
My God, that's all I need, man.
That's a good
You got
one.
this, dude.
Oh, we punched the panda man. There you go. You like that?
Yeah.
No.
My 6 months are just to keep doing the same thing. If I just keep on the trajectory, like even if it's only 0.1% a day better. It used to be like, oh, get 1% a day. Even if it's 0.1% a day better, that's still 0.7%.
Amen,
in a
brother.
week. You know what
Can
I
I
mean?
get an amen?
Keep getting that progression. I'm a progressive.
And that's progressive. Call or click today.
Non-politics,
That's a
though.
really
I'm
good
just saying
I
it's
know,
for,
I know.
No, I'm just being funny, though. But, like, 'cause I know that's, like, a whole political thing. But it's like, no, it's like I want to be proactive. I want to be, it's like progressive is kind of like what? Aggressive. So I want to be aggressive in my goals, too. But have that system set up to where like you have to find that balance, and it takes fine tuning. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to like change something because it's like some things you can't change overnight, and you shouldn't try to. You know
but
what I
it
mean?
didn't happen overnight.
Like that's the whole thing. You're like
Speaking
where you're
from
at now.
experience.
If say you're 30 years old, it's like well everything you've done now you're 30. It's like you have all this experience already. You know, have 12 years as an adult. You know, and plus whatever else you learned from your parents. You know. And then you have to, sometimes you got to look at your own beliefs, like, you know, and I'm continuing doing this, like, is what I taught, is that real? Is it serving me? Is it irrelevant? Does it matter? You know, it's like, some things are either evil or good. You could break it down to that way if you want. Is it serving you or is it not serving you? Is it hurting you? Like, it's like, the analogy is like, we're like trees. Either you're growing or you're dying.
Whoa.
Like, there's no in between. And life is always moving. The earth never stops. You know,
Hope to God it doesn't.
And the word never to our little 100 years existence, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, eventually it might stop in 5
But we won't be here.
billion years or whatever. I think it is about 5 billion years. Well, that's when like the sun's going to go out. Something
Well,
like
it's
that.
a double argument. So there's two things happening. Galaxies are going to converge together.
Yep, some
Or
galaxies are
the
going to
sun
collide.
is going to implode, and we will all get sucked into the sun.
I thought the
So
Earth
we'll
was going into
there's
the sun.
two
Well,
different.
The
there's two
sun's going to
different things
expand
going
first,
on
and we're
at
going to
the
get
same
melted.
time.
And then
There's
it's going to
two things
implode. Because
going
it expands and it melts on itself. But like if say some people are like on Jupiter or further planet
We're all
out, you
getting
know,
sucked into the same.
if they don't
damn
get
sun.
sucked into that, because the mass is the star goes like this. I don't know if the actually mass increases or not. I'm not sure, but either way, the heat is going to go out, and then it's going to implode on itself.
Implode, not explode.
Yeah, implode.
Super fucking interesting.
Yeah,
But we're also merging with our neighbor.
yeah, and the distance between stars are so vast that stars almost never collide. They almost will never crash each other, just because space is just so far out. I mean, the nearest star to us is, what is it, 4, I think like 3.75, something like that, 4 light years away.
Light years.
So you got to travel at 300,000 kilometers a second, or 186,000 miles per second in 1 second.
For 3 years.
For 3 years straight. to
Is
even get-
Pachillion
that's
a
how much
word?
space. You
Never
just
mind.
made it up right now,
Ooh.
coin it.
Okay,
Buy
well-
the .com of it.
And I'll give a okay. So here's a thought. And we'll leave it with this. We'll just think of this, and we can fact check me if you want. If you traveled for 1 light year at the speed of light, 6 months. Okay, so we're on planet Earth right now, and for 6 months I travel a light year away at the speed of light.
Okay, it's feel like.
Well, we'll age faster,
And
but
then-
we'd still be the
That's
way.
right. And then I take another 6 months and come back. So I'm only going 1 year.
So you're
in
gone
my
1 light year. I get you. Yeah.
Oh, Buzz
But
Lightyear.
the
that's
amount of
why.
time-
Oh, wow.
The amount of time that Earth spent is way longer. And someone said it was almost like 10,000 years or something crazy. So with that said, how could I ever go 3 light years, even at the speed of light? How much progression would that society have by the time I go there, back to my own home, and back to theirs?
Unfathomable.
And so that's why I always stand by, if any of the Star bullshit, Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars, Stargate is the only one that makes sense. Once you're there, you leave a connection, say an internet, and then you can get there again. But until your hippie ass gets there once, holy tits, man, that's a long travel, and society will change so much.
Hmm.
So with that, wouldn't it be better to just send drones?
Yeah.
And that's
Send the drones and let them open a Stargate everywhere?
I like that. We need to create the perfect android cybernetic humanoid to be able to do that. That's why another thing, Elon
I'm
Musk.
going at the end there.
Elon Musk.
I know. I'm like looking for a piece of paper. I can show you how a wormhole works.
And I think drones
No,
are
don't
going
worry about
to
it.
be the
Another
future.
time.
Be
We
the
can
future.
call.
No, I can
next
show you
week-
with my hat
No,
a
listen.
wormhole right here. So if you're here and you want to get to here, the end of the galaxy, this like traveling like straight like that, it's going to be
It doesn't work.
100,000 light years if we're talking about the Milky Way. But if they say you could pull the fabric of time like this, and then now you just go through that little tiny gap right there, and then you
Throw it back.
Then you throw it back. They call it like you're
Stargate.
pulling the
Thank you
space
for
time.
arguing. Thank you for arguing Stargate for me.
yeah no that yeah.
Ooh, next week's topic: nerdism.
No, there's a difference between geeks and nerds.
No, we already
Okay.
did that.
Okay, we did
that.
So,
We're just gonna
nerdism.
go full on nerds.
Ooh,
Well, are we okay to do outro?
long dick.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great, and Carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. This is the Downtown Las Vegas Good Buddies. I'm the Mad Hatter. Hey, get out of here. Get. That's my fuck off, asshole.
He's like
I'm the Mad Hatter.
he's the guy
Add
from
me
the
at the
galaxy.
MaddHatterTv. That's Scott Warner. Adam and Scott Warner with that cute little underscore. That's the dank. Oh, look at that little underscore. Look at that down there. The dank underscore live again. And I hope you all enjoyed our discussion about, well, New Year's resolutions and mid-year resolutions. A little bit of personal growth there. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's
Personal
never
growth.
too late to make changes in your life. Even at the halfway point, it's still the perfect time to, holy shit, recommit to your goals. So whether you're hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or just trying to better yourself, I encourage y'all to keep staying focused, push forward, and if you ever need a little bit of support or motivation, well, shit, you've got Scott's Instagram. Add him already. Just tune into our show and join in for our community-like individuals, as next week we're going to actually do everything we said. We've got the whole community come down. We're going to talk about everybody's personal growth and how we can help each other in the community. So until next time, keep striving for greatness. Never give up on your dreams, kids. And always be good to yourselves and each other. I'm the Mad Hatter signing off. Take care, everybody. Until next time, see you next week.